What is going on, everybody? What is going on? It is good to see you all here in the show. It is good to see everybody here. We got a hot one tonight, guys. We got a hot one tonight. We'll see what everybody has to say tonight. But it should be a very interesting show. Should be a very interesting show. Very interesting show, guys. Very interesting. Thank you for the update, Great Dane. Good to see you in the chat, as usual. Good to see you here. Good to see you here, John Seth. We are definitely going to get this thing going tonight. Should be very interesting. What's up, my mango bango? What are you dressing for the topic, Fitzy? No, man, I've worn a tank top once before. If I just leave the gym and I hurry up and get here, then I'll just go ahead and just leave my workout stuff on, man. I'm not trying to get all sissified. What's up, West Woman? Good to see you in the chat. What's up, Hip to the Dip? Good to see you in the chat. What's up, Alicia Howard? Hey there to you as well. Good to see you here. Good to see everybody up in this thing. Good to see everybody up in this thing. It's a beautiful day here in the Ville. It's been nice here the last couple of days. Gypsy Lily, good to see you in the chat. What's up, my lifers? Good to see you all up in here. Good to see you in here, Gypsy Lily. We missed you on the last show. What's up, Totally Faded? What is going on? Yeah, the last show was pretty interesting. It was a very interesting topic. We had some really good conversation, really good debates. I enjoyed it. It was a little bit of a controversial topic, but it was handled very well. And I think it was a very enlightening topic. A lot of people got to share their views about either themselves or some loved ones in their family. It was a very interesting show. I really liked it a lot. I really liked it a lot. Really enjoyed that show. Really enjoyed that show. So guys, if you haven't already, as you come into the room, please like the video. Please like the video if you can. I would appreciate it. Please like that video if you can. Let everybody fall up into this chat. Always takes a moment for everybody to get in here. What's up, Wendy Seeley? Good to see you in here as usual. Gypsy Lily says this topic is going to be juicy. You know this is going to be a juicy one. This is going to be a good one. I'm sure everybody will have something to say, whether they're brave enough to call in and talk about it. The chat should be pretty lively today. I hope people are brave enough to call in and actually talk about some of their experiences. That will just make the show much more interesting to hear some people's stories. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Oh, man. Seems like we're getting a few people a few new people too. So it's good. It's good. I'm glad to see that. What's up, Aramis? Good to see you, my brother. Very good to see you in here. Hip to the Dip says sex is always an interesting topic. People want to pretend like it doesn't exist. You are right, Hip to the Dip. And that's, again, like I say with this channel, I try to do things differently from the other EXJW channels because a lot of times, we are programmed so hard in that organization that we forget how much we've been programmed and how we don't process things the same way other people do. So it's good to talk about things that I know for a long time some of us were prohibited from talking about or thinking about. So that's the point. We're going to talk about some things on this channel that we may not have been able to talk about openly before, but we're going to talk about it here on the My Life Show. What's going on, Dinah? Good to see you in the chat. Good to see you here. Haven't heard from Seventh Heaven. I don't know if she's going to be free tonight or not, but she is always missed. One of our two great mods, Seventh and Gypsy Lily. Thank you for what you guys do. Thank you for jumping in and helping out, Gypsy. I really appreciate you very, very much. Because there always seems to be some crazy people in here. What's going on, Tina Marie? Tina Marie J is in the chat, guys. That is my girl. That is my girl. It is good to see you in here. Everybody give Tina Marie J some love. She has a wonderful channel. She's doing some wonderful things. She is a really, really good person. I really have enjoyed talking to her from time to time on the show. And we're supposed to be doing some stuff together here in the near future once our availability lines up. So good to see you, Tina. Gypsy says, been getting any trolls? Yeah, we've gotten trolls on the last couple of shows. For the last 2 or 3 shows, we've gotten trolls either via the phone or in the chat. I had to kick somebody off Sunday night. So yeah. Oh man. It's all right, Dorinda Nicole. It's all right. And I know why you would say that, but someone who was someone who was in the organization or in the high control organization like this would kind of understand the topic. So it wouldn't be too awkward. What's going on, Willow B? What's going on, Exclusive Princess? All right, everybody is falling up in this thing. We falling in here heavy. We falling in here heavy. We are coming in this thing. We are coming in this thing. Now, all right, once we hit 20, we will go ahead and ring up. There we go. Ring the bell. Class is in session. We are about to teach each other some things in here tonight, guys. Let's get it popping, my lifers. Let's get it popping, my lifers. So, I guess it's on me. You know how it always is with me. It is always a time. It's never a bad time for a story. I think it's time for a story. Oh, man. So we all know that as people in the organization, we were super, super sexually suppressed. I'm glad everybody finds my story time part so funny. That's great. What's going on, Nubian sister? It is always good to see you in the chat. Hold on, so many people are commenting on that post on Facebook, so their comments are coming in while I'm trying to tell my story. Wow. I'm going to read some of these comments too, man. These people are making some crazy comments. I hope they would join the show. What's up, 1111-007? It is always amazing to see you here. Always amazing to see you here. So like I was saying, I know we all, hold on, let me put the number on the screen too. For those of us who are brave enough to call in, the call-in number, as always, is 615-412-9335. I will spam that in the chat as well. 615-412-9335. So if anyone wants to call in and share some of their stories, you are more than welcome. All right, so as I said, I know a lot of us know that in the organization, or another organization, if you were in something different, we were severely sexually repressed. So one of my first experiences with sex in general, not me personally having sex, but just knowing what sex really was. One of my earliest memories, I think we all know what it's like when you, what's up today, forever? Good to see you. When you overhear your parents having sex or something like that, right? And you don't know what's really going on. What's going on, Dirty Bird? You don't really know what's going on. You just hear stuff, right? You just hear this stuff. You just hear this stuff happening. You hear all these sounds and all these whispers and all this stuff, and you're like, what's going on in there, right? Oh man, people are already calling in. I didn't even got to tell my story yet. Hold on, let's see what this is. You are on the K Fits My Life show. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Ann.
Hello, Ann. How are you doing today?
Good. I'm staying anonymous.
Oh, really? Well, why'd you call?
Oh, I don't need to tell where I'm from.
Okay, good. So share what is on your mind.
Well, I was raised a JW and then married a JW man for 20-something years.
Okay.
And as you know, the whole oral thing is not allowed.
Of course.
And that's really, really annoying.
Yes, it
so
really,
what
really
happened?
Was.
What happened is when we first got married,
okay,
he would do everything. And apparently some article came out, and then he stopped. So to be exposed to something you like, and then all of a sudden be told, "Oh yeah, we can't do that anymore," that's not cool.
So you immediately divorced him?
No, it actually continued.
Okay.
We're divorced now.
Okay.
But yeah, he actually would do things like would touch every part of my body, like with his tongue, except for where you really wanted, because that was forbidden. So I was like, you're gonna let 9 or 8 or 10 men in New York tell you what you're allowed to do in the bedroom
with your wife?
And who? Yeah, I go, we are in a monogamous relationship, and we're married, why can't we do whatever we want? I don't understand how these men in New York can tell you can't do something. And then he would tell me he really wanted to. He really wanted to do, and he couldn't because it was bad.
That is
and
ridiculous.
I said, why is it okay to kiss any other part of your body except for one area? I go, I don't understand. Where in the Bible does it say you can't do that? I go, and then it's just ridiculous.
It is.
So I was like, that is the stupidest thing I ever heard. So years and years later, the marriage started to fall apart. We started sleeping in separate bedrooms because why bother? It was just stupid. It's just dumb,
That's hilarious.
So we started sleeping in separate bedrooms, and then you go to the Kingdom Hall and pretend like everything's great.
Right.
And you're like, no, this religion is controlling my life. I'm married. I'm actually married to this man. He used to do what I like, and then he stopped.
Wow.
But the good part is he didn't expect me to give it back to him either, because I was like, oh, that's fitting. Sorry, can't do it.
See, the sword cuts both ways.
Yep.
So,
oh, well.
That was while you were in the organization, right? So what happened after you left the organization?
Well, it's a very, very long story.
Well, to make the long story short, once you left the organization, I am assuming that you were able to get
I left
the things.
him.
Oh, you left him.
It came hand in hand. I pretty much left the organization and him like simultaneously.
Really?
So, yeah, it was terrible. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so then I read Crisis of Conscience, and I couldn't believe wasn't in the first chapter, but it was very near the front of the book. That was one of the things. You read Crisis of Conscience?
Yes.
That Ray talked about with how they deliberated in the room about whether or not oral sex was good, and then it was, and then it wasn't, and then it was, and I was like, oh my God, this is what I've been saying for 10 years, and here these guys are deliberating over this, and just because they decided they don't like it, and there was those stories in there of like a quadriplegic guy that was the only way he could please his wife, and then he wasn't allowed to do it anymore, and their marriage like fell apart. Like, sex is a big part of a marriage.
Are you kidding me? So he couldn't do anything, and did they disfellowship him?
Maybe it wasn't Crisis of Conscience. It might have been In Search of Christian Freedom, the other one I read. It was a story about this brother. He was a quadriplegic, and the only way he could please his wife was orally.
Okay.
And then he learned that it was wrong, and he couldn't do it anymore.
Right.
And he went to the brothers, and they said, you can't do that, dude. It's wrong. That's what they do in the house of prostitution and whatever. And basically, I can't remember all the details, but the marriage fell apart.
Wow.
He couldn't please his wife in any way at that point. Yeah, I thought it was in that book. I read it. I was just floored.
That is awful. That is crazy, man. I'll never let them do that. They would never control what I did in the bedroom. I always said, I don't really care what y'all say. I'm doing whatever I want to do.
Well, this is the best part, too. So here I have this goody two JW guy I'm married to.
Okay.
Then I would go to like friends' houses, and elders' wives would sit there and tell me that they all do it. And I was like, so Brother Elder here is going down on his wife all the time, and she's giving him whatever he wants, and like dozens of people, all of them telling me, oh, yeah, I do that all the time. Who doesn't? Oh, and I was like, who doesn't?
Me doesn't.
My husband doesn't. He doesn't, and I want him to. I want to do some fun stuff. Like, I'm all about,
Right.
this. No, it was forbidden. And I probably had a good half dozen sisters that were just like, oh yeah, they do that, because we would talk,
Oh yeah, I know y'all
talk.
did. I used to overhear some really amazing conversations with some sisters in the organization.
Oh, yeah. We talked. And I was like, am I the only one that is married to Mr. Goody Goody here?
Yeah, it was just you.
Unbelievable. I was like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Wow. Well, at least you don't have that issue now.
No, I have a wonderful boyfriend
There you
who
go.
knows how to deliver.
There you go.
So, without guilt, no more JW, none of that. Ugh, control.
I know, right?
Control over every part of your life. And it's not like you're asking for something, everybody likes something different, but, there's some super kinky stuff, whatever, that, yeah, I get it. You're not into that. Okay, I respect that. But some things are just normal part. Like, you want to do this.
Right.
So you used to. You want to do it, but you're holding back.
Right.
Because of this organization. And when Armageddon comes, is God going to say, I don't believe Armageddon is coming, by the way, but let's it is.
It's
is
like,
he going to say, you're not going to make it because you went down on your wife?
Right.
That's bad.
Right. You would have got in, but you remember when you gave him head that day? Yeah, that's can't let you in. Yeah.
Nope, that's wrong. Can't and who is it that can say that one thing is good and one thing's not? And this, you may like this and another person may like that, but just because you don't like it, you now forbid everybody in the organization, do whatever you want. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous. I agree.
And there's another thing that's a kind of a little side point to what your topic is about. Do you remember the article that came out about you weren't allowed to have sterilization done?
Not allowed to have sterilization done?
No.
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, I remember. That was a huge thing because I had health issues and I've had a couple kids, and I didn't want any more kids. I was like, okay, so one of us should go and either get your tubes tied or you have a vasectomy as a male.
Okay.
So it's so much easier for the male to go get a vasectomy. It's like a one-day procedure in and out. You're a little sore, you come home, you're fine.
Okay.
A female, it's much more involved. It's more dangerous. It's, so the logical thing here would be for the man to go, right? Insurance covers it. We make the appointment. Damn it, an article comes out and a question from readers that says that you really should respect your reproductive organs and you're not allowed, doesn't come out and say you're not, you know how they word things.
Right.
Because you're an EXJW, right?
Of course.
Okay. They word things like, you should respect your organs and whatever in the reproductive system. Yeah, I can't remember. I should look up the date before I tell you this, but there's some article that said basically, I guess they kind of said it's a conscience matter. You should think about it. You shouldn't just do it to use it as birth control. If you do it, it should be because there's a health reason or a very specific, like life or death situation, And whenever there was a questionable thing, my husband always went for the very strict side.
Right.
He read the article and said, nope, can't have this done. And so I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So I said, well, I think I'm going to go again. It's more dangerous for me. I'm going to go. And he said, I really wish you wouldn't. So, that was a big thing in our marriage too. So then what happens, you go and talk to all the sisters, and what do you think every one of them has done? Their husbands had a vasectomy. Oh, she's getting her tubes tied, this one, that one. I wasn't allowed to because of this article, yet elders' wives were having it done. And there was no, oh, just don't tell anybody. Just do what you want or whatever. And I got so stinking mad because I told him if I got pregnant again, I will kill you. So, yeah. That was a whole, that's a side point there. But yeah, you don't remember that article? Oh, I remember it because he
I
whipped it
do
out a
not
few
remember
times.
that article, but what year was that article? Do you have it like a not an exact year, but what range of year do you think it was? Was it in the 80s?
No, it was recent, like within 5 years, I'd say.
Oh, really? Okay, well that's why I wouldn't know because I haven't, I left a long time ago, but that's probably
Yeah,
why I
yeah,
didn't
it was.
know.
Oh, I should have looked it up, but you can Google it
Yeah,
on
we'll
their
definitely
site
find
or
that.
whatever.
That would be very interesting.
Yeah, it's about sterilization, and it was basically forbidden.
So you think that that view on sex, of course, had a huge impact on your marriage?
Oh, yeah, that was like a big, big problem. But then there was many, many other issues that everything just compounded. And but I was still indoctrinated at that point, so I was just like, oh, it sucks, but I got to be submissive because I guess I have to do what he says, and I hated every minute of it. And I realize now I was physically in, but mentally totally out
Mm-hmm.
for years, and I just was like, oh, I guess I got to do this. I'll just keep plugging along. And oh yeah, but the sex thing was huge. And every time I go out with the girls and they start drinking, telling me what they do, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I am literally the only one that is deprived.
Well, you should have went home and
Well,
never
home and
mind.
what?
Never mind. Never mind. Let me. Well, see
Well,
what.
now that we're divorced, what I want to do, my dream is to, once we already signed papers, is to meet up with him and seduce him and like go down on him now that we're not married and have him get disfellowshipped for oral sex with someone he's not married.
Yowzers.
That's my dream right now. I'm like, I would love to do that and have to have him go to the elders and say, oh my God, I didn't have sex with my ex-wife, but this is what happened. And then he gets fellowship for it. It just would come right back around.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine how that story would go. Oh my God, she raped me, she sucked my dick, and I didn't want her to. Oh my God.
It's so bad, and we're not married now, whatever.
Man, you are sadistic.
And I told my boyfriend I was going to do that. He was like, go for it.
Yowzers, that's awesome.
He's like, yeah, he told me go for it. He said he doesn't count. He's a pre-existing condition. So.
This is the greatest call in the whole history of Skype.
Now you know why it's anonymous.
Exactly. Yeah, you are. Everybody's saying you are savage. You are savage. That is beast mode right there.
I just think that would be karma if I believed in that crap, but karma at its finest, like what goes around comes around. The whole thing would just be full circle. And I'm just like, oh, the opportunity, it would happen. I would do it.
Well, you should record it and put it on like Pornhub. And be like,
and the thing
EXJW gets, Jehovah's Witness gets disfellowshipped because of this.
And then that JWs are not allowed to masturbate. Okay,
of course,
so
that I'm sure that's going to come up
forbidden.
in the conversation as well.
So if I did this to him as revenge, it would only take 3 seconds because he's totally backed up and not getting any. So
This
is one and done.
This is gonna be a great
very
show.
Quickly.
Well, Anonymous, thank you so much for kicking this show off with the best call in the whole history of Skype. I appreciate this call so much.
You have a wonderful night.
You gonna stay in the chat, right? You're not gonna leave us.
Yeah, I'll watch the chat. I'll give somebody else a turn. I had to open it up.
You definitely opened it up.
You have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow. That was one hell of a call. What a way to open the show. Oh, man. Yeah. No, that Junie B said, wait, that was the beginning? No, that was the beginning. That's how we kicked this show off. This show is about to be popping. That was not the middle or the end. This was the beginning. What's going on, Terry Baker? What's going on, Terry Baker? Good to see you in the show. What is up, Seventh Heaven? I'm glad to see you in here. Didn't get to say hi to you when you came in, but it's good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, what was I talking about before I was so rudely interrupted with the most amazing call ever? Great Dane says, question from readers. Since sterilization procedures are now said to be reversible on request, might a Christian view them as a birth control option? Watchtower Study 2012, 626. Good looking out, Great Dane. See, I never wanted to get a vasectomy because I don't want to shoot blanks even if I'm not shooting in the bullseye, if you know what I mean. I still want to be able to I still want to be able to glaze the donut. Did I just say that on the air? Oh man. But that's just me. I'm just being honest. That's just how I am. So, yeah. Thank you, Seventh Heaven. Thank you, Seventh Heaven. Seventh Heaven says, yeah, we know what you mean. Yeah, I know stuff still comes out, but it's not the same stuff. I want the same stuff to come out. I want it to be the same stuff, the same color, the same consistency, the same thickness. I wanted everything. Yeah, I need the frosting. I need everything to be the same. I don't need to look clear. I need it to be white because that's what turns me on. That's what gets me off. I need to see it the same way. So anyway, the number to call in 615-412-9335. That is 615-412-9335. My cousin came in and said, I just got here, and what are we talking about? Yeah, man, we are talking about the sex lives of people in the Jehovah's Witness organization and sex lives after people leave the organization, because we all know that when you're in the organization, there are things that you can't do. Yes, Tina Marie, that is exactly what we are talking about. Today Forever says, you better pray for no prostate problems. I take great care of my body inside and out. Inside and out, I am going to use this prostate until the wheels fall off of that thing. Tatiana says there's no difference, FYI. A man nor his partner can tell the difference after a vasectomy. No, I've actually heard that there is a difference in the way it looks and the consistency. Because there are, oh God, are we going to have anatomy class? There are two different fluids that come out. There is the clear fluid that is the carrier for the semen, and then there's the actual the actual semen. They're not all one and the same. So there are two different two different two different vehicles for the semen, for the cum, for whatever you want to call it. It doesn't just all come out at the same, the same way, pun intended. Anyway, my introduction to sex in general, besides overhearing my parents having sex, and you wondering what the hell is going on, and you hear all the screaming and moaning and stop, when actuality, she's saying don't stop, but you don't hear the don't, you only hear the stop. So you getting all sad and you crying because you think somebody's in there murdering your mama or something like that. Anyway, the thing that actually introduced me to sex for real, or seeing it anyway, one day, my ignorant ass, because I would go in my dad's drawer sometimes to get socks. One day, my ass goes in my dad's drawer to get some socks. And I see a videotape. This is back in the day, it wasn't readily available on X videos or Pornhub or NX or XNXX, any of those websites. I'm not going to debate with you, Tatiana. Love you. So I find this tape. The VHS tape's title. This is now remember, I was probably about 13. So this was literally like 30 years ago. The name of the movie was Moving In. Right? Tatiana, let me just tell you about how the fluids look when they come out of my penis, since I have one. There is a clear fluid that comes out first that doesn't have anything in it. It's just clear. And then there's another fluid that has the semen in it that's white. So there are two fluids, but they do not look the same. I'm just saying. Now, let me get back to my story. So I'm about 13. I see this VHS tape in my dad's drawer called Moving In. I'm like, what the fuck is moving in? So I just made a mental note of it because I wasn't home by myself then. So I get home from school. I was by myself. So I said, oh, that's right. I need to see what this moving in thing is, right? So I go in the drawer, get Moving In, pop Moving In the VCR, click the little switch down, and hit 0 on the counter so I can rewind this bitch back to 0 and have it in the same place for whenever my dad watches it again. Because I kind of knew it was a flick, but I didn't know it was a flick, but I hoped it was a flick. I was like, I hope this a flick. That's what we used to call it back in the day, a flick. We go watch this flick real quick. So I'm like, okay, this a flick. So I hit the button, counter goes to 0, all set to watch the flick, or what I hope is a flick. Hit play, and what do I see? Firstly, the first thing I saw was Ron Jeremy. Now, I don't know if you guys know who Ron Jeremy is, but Ron Jeremy is a classic porn star. He's been a porn star since porn started. So, of course, the girl comes in, or he goes into the girl's room, and this is the first time I had ever seen a completely naked woman. And I mean, you know how it is, guys in the chat, when you see a flick for the first time and you see everything, and you're like, oh my God, I can see everything. You can see everything. And so, of course, I'm watching this flick. I'm like, damn, you can see everything, man. They showing everything. They showing everything. So, of course, I couldn't watch the whole thing, right? So, so it was getting close to time for my parents to get home. So I stopped it, rewound it back to the beginning, put it back in the drawer. So, of course, I called my boy. He was my best friend. Now, he's a Jehovah's Witness, too. We was both Jehovah's Witnesses. So I'm like, man, I saw this flick in my dad's drawer. He was like, for real? I was like, yeah, man. I was like, you can see everything too, dude. They showed everything. You could see everything on her, dude. You could see everything, man. He was like, for real? For real? He was like, bring it over. I was like, dude, I can't bring it over. It's my dad's. I'm gonna get in trouble. He's like, man, go on, bring it over so we can watch it. I want to see it. I said, all right. So now this is my dumb ass. My dumb ass proceeds to take the tape out of my dad's drawer and take it over at my boy's house, whose house I spent the night over. Now, why I thought this was a good idea and I wasn't gonna get busted, I will never know. But that's what my dumb ass did. So we popped this in. We watching this flick. He like, dang, you can see everything, dude. You can see everything. She got big titties. You can see everything. Look at her. You can see all up it. You can see everything. I'm like, dang. So we watched it. The next morning, the phone rings. My boy's like, it's your mama. I was like, all right. I was like, hello? My mom says, Keith, did you take a tape out of your daddy's drawer? I said, huh? That's the known response whenever you get busted doing something. I said, huh? She said, did you take a tape out of your daddy's drawer? I was like, no, what tape? What you talking about? She was like, well, you better come home right now because your dad is mad. Now, my dad is, now I'm 13. So I am, like back then I was anorexic skinny, little bitty as hell. My dad is like 6'2", 6'3". Back then he weighed about 300 pounds. I mean, my dad is huge back then. I mean, he's still, he's big now, but I mean, it's a lot more equal now. But back then it was like, okay. So I hung the phone up. I was like, man, we busted. Of course I got to put his ass in it. Man, we busted. He's like, what happened? I said, they know, man. They know. So of course I had to go back home. Sneak the tape back in the drawer. Like it just magically popped up when I got there. I still had to deny this shit. I denied it. And my mom said, like maybe 2 months later, I was still denying it. All the girls came out up the street from my house. Everybody's dancing in the street. All these fine ass girls up the street. And I couldn't leave I was on punishment. You know how we say back then, on punishment. I was on punishment until I told the truth. So I see all these girls up the street. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I did it. I took it. I watched it. And they was like, you can go ahead and go wherever you want to go now. She said, just let you know, your daddy almost hit you in the face when you came home that day. So you might not want to do nothing like that again. I was like, oh, okay. If my dad would have hit me in the face, I would not look the way I look right now, because I'm telling you, that dude is big. But that little incident was my introduction to porn. And porn, anybody that says that any man that says he don't watch porn is either a Jehovah's Witness or a liar, because all men watch porn. The difference with me was that after I did that, I never lied to any woman that I watched it. If there was a woman that I was interested in, she would know. She would know that I watch porn. And I would be like, yeah, do you watch porn? I'd be like, yes. You want to watch it with me? And we can have sex while we watch it? Or we can find something new to do while we watch this porn? See, I've never been one to hide what I've done sexually with anyone. Either you down with what I like or you're not. So any woman that's like, I don't want my man watching porn, we not going to work out. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to see if you want to watch it too. And if you don't want to watch it, that's fine. But when you're not there and I'm horny, something got to give. Something got to give. So I know that there were a lot of people in the organization that were watching porn. There were a lot of people in the organization that were doing a lot of the wife swapping. I don't know if you guys remember that, but here there was a huge controversy. I like saying things like British people, not controversy, controversy. And a lot of the brothers were doing these brothers and sisters were wife swapping. They came out with this huge article and this huge talk about wife swapping. So like the last caller said, there were a lot of people who were living this life like they were just having regular old boring ass sex, because according to the organization, you really could only do it missionary. You couldn't do anything, other than missionary, because then you'd be doing too much. You'd be accused of you doing too much. Jehovah don't want you hitting it from the back. You heard what Jesus said, thou shalt not hit it from the back. I was like, Jesus said that for real? Yeah. Jesus said, thou shalt not hit it from the back. Thou shalt not hit it from the side. Thou shalt not, do reverse cowgirl. Thou shalt not ride that dick. Thou shalt not, suck that dick for real now. Thou shalt better not suck that dick now. Or thou, shalt not lick that click. Jesus said thou shalt not do that. There's a whole bunch of stuff that thou shalt not do. And I was like, well, this thou shall not listen, because this thou thus doest all of that. Junior B says men with small dicks can't do some of the positions you're naming. Well, that is not a problem that I have. Today Forever says the first time I saw porn was not expecting it. Went to a party in a downtown apartment party in Chicago. Next thing I knew, porn was on the walls from projectors. I was 16 and mortified. See, at me at 16, I probably would have already seen it. I'd have been like, oh yeah, I know this one. This is moving in. But that changed my whole interaction with sex, even being a Jehovah's Witness, because while I was married, my wife was, of course, a Jehovah's Witness. She was a baptized Jehovah's Witness. I was not baptized, but I was like a publisher. I was doing things at the Kingdom Hall. But I didn't really abide by any of that. I'm like, look, this is happening. We're doing this. And, yeah. Judaim says, I'm surprised if many people obeyed those strict sex rules. Are the brothers going to come by and verify? I don't know. If they would have came by my house to verify, their heads would have exploded like on Raiders of the Lost Ark. Their whole face would have just melted. So I'm like, you want to see something? Oh. I was like, you don't have to worry about tight pants. There's no pants over here, brother. I'm going to show you what's going on. You're going to be mortified. Well, that's the issue. That's the point of the show too, man. Seventh Heaven says, how the hell can you lock people down like that and not expect all the problems with repression? And that's that's exactly what happens with a lot of people. People are so repressed. Even like the caller, she's married to her husband, and can't even do the stuff she wants to do. You were on the K Fits My Life show. What is your name and where you calling from?
This is Ann again. How you doing?
What's up, Ann? How are you?
Well, I had something to add about porn.
Okay.
Well, told you about my goody JW husband.
Right.
Well, ironically, I was innocently checking the computer one day and found a mother load of porn on a computer.
On his computer?
And So I confronted him, and I was like,
"Was this porn where
what
there
is
was
this?
was this porn where there was absolutely no oral sex involved?"
That's my point. I said, you are a goody, and you won't let me suck your dick, and you won't come anywhere near me down there with your tongue, because, ooh, that's bad. But you'll sit and watch hundreds of people going down on everybody, having threesomes, taking it in the ass, whatever. You're watching this stuff, but yet with your own wife, you won't do it. So I go, where do we draw the line here? Where do we draw the line of what is adultery and what isn't?
Well,
you're committing adultery.
If it's are you saying he's committing adultery by watching porn?
Well, I didn't really care, but I was rubbing it in his face because I was like, you're committing adultery in your heart. And it's funny, not too long ago, maybe 5 years ago, they came out with an article that said you can be disfellowshipped now for watching porn.
You can be disfellowshipped for watching porn?
Yes, now you can, because it's committing adultery in your heart.
What if
you're not to look at a woman and have a passion for her?
What if you're having sex with your wife while you're watching the porn, though?
Oh, no, you can't do that. No. Mm-mm. Absolutely not. Yeah, you can't. So he felt terrible, and he said he was going to stop. And I go, I don't understand. Explain this to me. I said, you can watch hundreds of people doing God, whatever, everything I want you to do, but you won't do it with me, the one you're married to.
Interesting.
Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense at all?
It doesn't. Would you have watched the porn with him?
Oh, heck yeah. I've been to everything. I'm like, sure, bring it on. Let's do something fun. And nope. Then he put filters on the computer and made it all, official. It was stupid. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think he even went and told on himself to the elders, and they were like, "Oh, it's good you told us."
He's a pussy.
Because they're all going home and sucking dick and watching porn themselves, but yet they're giving you counsel. Oh, brother, don't do that. That's very naughty.
That is ridiculous.
No privileges for you.
That is ridiculous. That is horrible.
No, it was only recent that it came out, some article basically that said if you watch porn and you go to maybe you have a problem, they might forgive you once, but if you continuously don't stop watching it, and your wife goes and tells on you to the elders, and man, you won't stop watching porn, you can be disfellowshipped now. It's considered adultery in your heart. Can't get remarried, can't get divorced and remarried, but you can get disfellowship now for that, which is ridiculous. So then he did stop, as far as I know, he stopped. But whatever. But yeah, I had to add that.
Just FYI, if any woman out there, if they think their husband watched porn and then stopped, that is impossible. That does not happen. You can.
He swears to me that he stops, and I was like, okay, yep.
That motherfucker was lying. That's like trying to put some shit you bought. Sometimes you buy shit from Circuit City or something, or some electronic store, and you open it up and you try to put that shit back in the package, and you're like, I can never get this shit back in. It won't go back in. Mm-hmm. You can, once you open that Pandora's box, that shit will not close. He definitely watched it at least once or twice more after that.
Now, as a man yourself, how can you watch porn and then have your wife, who you supposedly love, and then not do any of that? How does he do that? How do you wrap your brain around that?
I would assume that the reason why he didn't do it with you is because he maybe thought he would feel guilty for doing the stuff that. See, he could watch the porn and hide what he was actually doing and not feel guilty about it. But if he did it with you, then it was like you would automatically you know, if some dude is doing the same shit all the time and then all of a sudden one day he does something completely different, you're gonna be like, hey, wait a minute, where'd that new shit come from? And it's not like he can say, well, I got it from the Awake magazine.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to have to come out and say, well, I've been watching Moving In, and I saw Big Mike, do this with, freaking Jocelyn Stone, and I thought you might enjoy it. Well, then now he's telling you that he's a porn watcher. He's said it out loud. See, when you do something in the dark, you can still pretend like you're not really doing it. But once you tell somebody, it's like, oh, you really doing that now. So he probably just didn't want you to know what he was doing. But I just don't understand why, personally, I would have been like, hey, come watch this. We're going to do this. And we're going to do it while it's on. Because porn makes for great background noise while you're having sex. It makes for great background noise. So I can't hide shit like that. I'm just too open about the shit that I like. So, like I said, a woman's going to have to rock with me all the way. I can't hide shit like that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you're married. Like, you're in this relationship. I'm all in. Let's make this work. Let's make it awesome. And then, you're watching that on the side, but yet you get in bed and you're like, oh, missionary, that's it. I just had to add that. So,
well, thank you so much for adding that. I'm just making sure my mic is all right. Thank you for calling back in, and that was great.
Yeah, you need some other people. They can't be shy. They got to call in.
We're gonna get them to call in. They'll be all right. It usually takes about 45 minutes to an hour. Then people get a little loose and they'll call in.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thank you for calling back. Bye. Great call again. Let's see. Let's look at the chat. I did say he is a pussy. He is a pussy. Mike D said he's good. He's covering his tracks good. Gypsy Liz says, my boyfriend taught me how to watch stuff incognito. There you go. Miss Bailey, too, says, do you still have Circuit City in your area? No, they closed the hell out of them shits. I was just talking about back in the day. Johnny Hill, she too mad her husband not a freak. Let's see. Today Forever says making your own porn is sexy as hell. Now that's what's up. Now I've done that a bunch of times. Junior B says we need a few more drink. Patricia Mint says, what's the number? Let me put the number in the chat. Actually, the number's on the screen too, but I'll put it in the chat. The number is on the screen, Patricia Mint. All right. Tatiana says no pillows, no tight pants, no porn, no masturbation, no premarital sexual touching, no various sex positions, no third persons, no sterilization, no oral, no cursing / dirty talk. If you can't deal with cursing or dirty talk with me, you gonna have a conniption once you start having sex with me. You are on the K Fits My Life show. What is your name and where are you calling from?
This is your Patricia Mint, calling from California.
What's up, Patricia Mint from California? What's on your mind, baby girl?
Hey, I have a confession to make.
Okay. Well, tell me all about it. I am all ears.
So, I've already said before, I've never been a Jehovah's Witness, but when you're in a family that is, it feels like you are, because the expectations are the same. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. And so, I'm just going to say, I don't really feel like I'm supposed to say this. I hope my mother never hears this, and I'm going to be very delicate about this, but something occurred that pissed me off with Jehovah's Witness, and it was represented through my mother, because she is one person, but she represents the organization in my life. So I was with child at one point, right? And like the kid came too early. So I found myself in labor at like 5.5 months. Okay. And my mother was there, of course. So there was this point where they were like, well, when the baby comes, it's obviously going to be underweight and premature if it survives. So we need you to sign off on this consent form that if the baby needs blood transfusion, we can do that. And I was under medication, and I was like, what the hell are we talking about? Let's just get this thing out, because I was literally like in labor, And my mother was there, and she like immediately like red flags, blood transfusion, what are you guys talking about? And she kind of intercepted. And long story short, this has nothing to do with sex, but since I was pregnant, I obviously had sex, right?
Okay, right.
So, and it was signed off that the baby wouldn't have blood. Okay, so long story short, the baby didn't need blood because it didn't survive. It never needed the blood transfusion. It was just too small to survive outside of the womb.
Okay.
And so what pissed me off was that she was in that moment going like full on Jehovah's Witness at a time of a life and death situation of my child, not her child, my child. All right. I'm the mama. I make the decisions here. But somehow, someway, I don't remember how it went down. I just know that she was like, no blood for this baby. And that's what it was going to be. Fortunately, it didn't really come down to that, so I just threw it out the window. But what pissed me off was, like, some years later, she was having a battle with cancer, and it came down to her life, blood or no blood. And guess what she chose?
Wow.
Yeah. And it like hurt me kind of, because I was like, so my baby's life for your life, you know what I mean? Like, wow, really? Like, my baby can die if it, say it had lived and it needed a blood transfusion. Don't give my kid blood, because we as Jehovah's Witness don't believe that. But she knows I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, right? But then she 5 years later or whatever it was, they're like, look, you got like 4th stage cancer, and if you don't have the surgery, well, if you get the surgery, you're going to need blood. Like, there's no way we can operate on a 4th stage cancerous body or whatever and not give you blood. And then she had to make that decision.
Gotcha.
So that's it. That I just wanted to just get that out, because that like really made me mad with her. So anyway, long story short is that in the future, I always said, like, whatever happens with me and my children, if I ever had a kid again, and, typically your mom wants to be in the delivery room and stuff like that, she can't be there no more. Like, no, because I don't want any influences, or if I'm knocked out and then she's checking off no blood and then I'll be done died, or my kid dead or something like that, so that's all. I mean, I love her to death, I'm saying all this respectfully, but like, that did it when that happened. I was really upset with her about that, because she took blood, but she was recommending for me that my kid couldn't have blood.
Right. Well, hey, thank you for calling in and sharing that. That's a messed up story, but I'm glad everything is, hope you're okay now. And thank you so much for calling and sharing that story with us.
Yes, no problem. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. So Gypsy Lily had a question, and we are waiting for Gypsy Lily to call in. Someone else had a question. Now, Gypsy says she has a question, but she's scared to ask. Now, Gypsy, what is your question regarding? Now, is this question regarding what sexual experience is this question regarding? What experience is this question regarding? What is your question regarding? Let me see here. Let's look back in the chat. Miss Bailey 2 says, just listening, no comments. Okay. Yeah, today, forever, that making your own porn is sexy. That's what's up. It is. It is. That is some fun stuff. There might even be a video of me floating around on the internet, but I will not tell you where it is. You are on the K Fits My Life show. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Mr. Fitz, what's going on? It's Gypsy. How's it going?
What's up, Gypsy? What's on your mind, Gypsy?
Hey. Well, let me tell you my story first. It's a short one. It's not really a story, but I mean,
Gypsy gonna share her story.
It's more of a question that I've always had being in the organization. Why would God give us a clitoris? Why would God give us a penis when, and only for it to be used during, like, I don't know, like for our husband or wife not to enjoy it? Why? What's the point of that? I mean, that doesn't make any sense, you know? I'm like, there's no way. The Bible clearly says husbands and wives should enjoy each other.
Right.
And I know he didn't give us a clit and all that or whatever just to let it sit there and not be pleasured, whatever.
Exactly.
So I never believed it. I'm like, there's no, I don't believe this because, like you said, it does not say thou shalt not flick the bean and thou shalt. It doesn't say any of that in the Bible. But my question revolves more around being an EXJW.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to my boyfriend, and I told him I do not care if he watches porn.
There you go.
I don't, because look, sometimes I may not be in the mood, and if he needs the release, go ahead. I don't care. Hey, I'll watch it with you. I'll help you out. But sometimes I do feel a little self-conscious about it, mm-hmm. about like what kinds of women that he's watching. Like, I'm like, make sure that she ain't like, you know, this cute little model looking chick. Make sure she's a little ugly. Make sure, or how about this? Make sure that there's no face, that you just see the booty bouncing or whatever.
See, that's interesting.
Sure so, what do you think? Is that asking too much or what?
Well, I'll say this. The reason why I know the names of those porn stars was because the woman that I named reminded me of my girlfriend. Uh-huh. So when I was with my girlfriend and I watched porn, I would only watch porn that reminded me of her. I didn't watch little like super bony girls or anything like that. I only watched porn that reminded me of my girlfriend. That way I never want to look at my girlfriend and then think that she doesn't look like the women I looked at when I watched porn. So I always watched the women that looked like my girlfriend. Like, my girlfriend knew who my favorite porn stars were, and like if I came over her house and she would have that video playing, I'm like, oh, I already know what time it is. It was, for us, it was basically like when one of us turned on some porn, it was basically like, you know what time it is, let's go. You know what I mean? So I never watched porn that didn't remind me of my girlfriend. But for the most part, I just watched porn because I just enjoyed it. But if I needed to rub one out, my girlfriend was so freaky that I could just think about her most of the time. But if I did want that little bit of extra, I would always watch porn that reminded me of her.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And that would make me feel better. You know, we don't really do that often, but that would make me feel better if it's somebody that looks a little more like his girlfriend, you know, but I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it's just insecurity, but
But yeah,
Yeah, that was my question.
The thing is, okay. Thanks for calling, Gypsy. We will definitely talk about this for a minute. That is a good topic. We're gonna talk about this. You stay in the chat, right?
Oh, definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about this. Tell your boy, is your boyfriend there with you?
Yeah, he hears. He's right here.
Tell him I said what's up. He's a cool dude.
Appreciate that, man. I'm just over here chilling.
No, he over there watching porn now. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, I'll holler at y'all, man. All right.
All right.
Always good to talk to Gypsy Lily and her loving boyfriend. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. I think women think that that men watching porn is a reflection of their girlfriends or their wives or whatever, and 9 times out of 10, it really isn't. Like, I never watched porn and said I'm watching this because I'm unhappy with my wife or I'm unhappy with my girlfriend. No, it's just I'm gonna watch this porn because I need to go ahead and jack off real quick. And it's like, come on, you don't really, it don't really take long. It's not like you are lusting after these women that you look at on porn. Because let me tell you what men do when we watch porn and we masturbate. This is exactly how this shit works. Well, I'm gonna tell you how it works with me, and I guarantee you it works with 90% of men. Right? Men are I'm horny. I am out of my mind horny as hell, to the point where I can't focus on shit. I can't think about shit. I can't do any. I'm sitting in the car, I'm driving, I'm doing anything, and I'm like, man, I am so fucking horny right now. I gotta. There have been times I've been driving, and I'm like, all right, I gotta take a break because I'm so fucking horny right now. I gotta go home. Fuck it, I gotta go home. You are out of your mind horny, men. You're out of your mind horny. You go ahead and pop that flick on real quick. It might take you 2 or 3 minutes. You go ahead, get that thing done. You get that thing done. After that, you get your good damn sense back. You like, whew, all right. Now I got my sense back. Now I can go out here and live my life. But hey, I will say this. Porn will keep you from doing something stupid. Because I guarantee you, it's a lot of people out there that was thinking some stupid person that came on to you, or you get some weird text from somebody, and you like, I could totally go over here and do it with this person, but I know how I'm going to feel in the morning. So let me go ahead and rub one out real quick so I won't go over here and do this dumb shit with this monster. So most of the time, even with me, watching porn had absolutely nothing to do with how I felt about my girlfriend. It was just, I needed to go ahead and rub this thing out real quick. Because, she may not have been around. If she wasn't around, I didn't want to go out and, I wasn't trying to go out and cheat. So I just went ahead and, rubbed one out real quick. That was that. So most of the time, I would say it really has nothing to do with, from a man's standpoint, it really doesn't have anything to do with how they feel about that woman. It's just they need to rub one out real quick. That's that. Tatiana says, who are you trying to tease? Well, I'm not trying to tease anybody, Tatiana. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Seventh Heaven says, probably won't find a super ugly porn girl. You are wrong about that. There are some ugly girls in porn. Airman says, LOL monster, man, I'm dead. I agree at K-Fist, and that's what I'm thinking about. What the hell the governing body could be thinking. Dude, porn has saved me from doing some dumb stuff. I've pulled up a flick, did what I had to do, and thought, damn, I'm so glad for porn, because I was going to do something stupid as fuck. So guys, as you come in, please like the video if you can. like the video. We got somebody thumbs down our video, guys. This video more than likely will not be on. I may have to take this one down. This one's gotten a little bit more racy than I probably would need for it to be on my channel. So this one will probably be private. This one will just be for us. Airman says, "Where's Cleo Banks tonight, Keith?" I am not sure where Cleo is. She hasn't been here for the last couple of shows, I think. Maybe I don't think she was here Sunday either. Maybe she's a little bit busy. Maybe Cleo Banks is a little bit busy. Aramis remembers her whole name. Aramis said, "Where's Cleo Banks tonight?" Oh, man. Gypsy Lily says, "Hell yes, there are some ugly ones out there." Yeah, there are, man. There are some ugly girls in porn. Yeah, Junie B, what did you find? Judaim says that was Brother Morris with the thumbs down. Gypsy Lee says the one with the 600-pound women eating and rubbing their bellies. Oh, man, that is disgusting. So there's a couple of people in the chat that said they were going to call in. Gypsy said she was going to call in. She did. Patricia said she was going to call in. Didn't John Hill say he was going to call in? So come on, guys. Don't be afraid. Come and share your stories. 615-412-9335. We are talking about sex and the JWs and sex and the EXJWs. What was your sex life like when you were in the organization versus what it's like now that you are out of the organization? I definitely remember the whole thing about after, I don't know if you guys remember this story I told, but I think I told you guys a story about when I was married and my ex-wife's mom came to our house and she sat down on our bed and they turned the TV on and the porn that I had in there just came on, and her mom saw the porn and gave us these little packets that she made talking about how horrible porn is. Well, shortly after that, they gave a talk over the platform and they were talking about the dangers of porn. So it is amazing to me that these people, and I would also wager that that's why so much of the things that are going on in the organization go on, is because there are so many sexually repressed people. And whether you admit it or not, sex is a huge part of humanity and healthy human relationships. And if you're not able to do the things that you have, fantasies about doing, then, you're not exploring your whole sexuality, especially if you have a woman, well, in my case, a woman, or in a woman's case, a man that is open to allow you to explore the things that you want to explore sexually. You're not going to be really living your best relationship with that person, which is why I always say it's pretty important to be open and honest about what you like sexually with somebody. You can't just, if you really want to have a healthy sexual relationship, you really have to just be willing to be honest and say, I like this, and this. And if that person says, I don't like those things, but I don't like all of those, but I like this, and this, then you have to say, well, okay, am I willing to go without those other things and just do those things? Or you never know. You might say, I like this, and this. And the person said, well, damn, I like all those things too. But I also, on top of them, I like this, and this. And that's the thing, when you grow up in an organization where you can't even explore your sexuality, it's hard for you to know exactly what it is that you like anyway. It's hard for you to be able to say, I like all these things, or I don't like these things, because you haven't really experienced anything. So that is the one of the main reasons for this topic. It's not just to talk about sex, even though we are talking about sex. A lot of us were so suppressed that it's difficult to go out of that and then jump into what you like to do or find out the things you like to do. Today Forever says, who in the chat feels like they gained new light about sex after the board? Did it take you a while to let go of the suppression, or were you gung-ho? Junie B says, I now have a sex box since leaving. Okay, a sex box. Junie B says, no sex with an EXJW. Really? Airman says these usernames are easy to remember, especially when you attend the show regularly. Cleo Banks is a cool name too, yeah. And it doesn't hurt that she is fine as all hell either. What did you just Google? Junie B. Junie B said, never mind, just Googled it. What did you Google? Tell us what you Googled, Junie B. So come on, I know we got one more person out here that's willing to share their story with us now. We are an hour and 20 minutes in. Hip to the dip says, I thought that was you I saw on Pornhub. That's hilarious. Now, Gypsy, he's saying that because I said there might be a video of me out there on Pornhub. That's why he said that. So it's cool. He wasn't being rude, Gypsy. Tatiana says, I'd like to think that all of us are having better sex now that we're out. Yeah, I would too. Dirty Bird says, my ex-husband dad had 70s porn and the ugly girls and Ron Jeremy. Seventh Heaven says, it was weird for me because since I was a young teenager, I was writing fiction novels with all kinds of sex in it. So in a way, I was always having sex, though it wasn't in real life. Interesting. Very interesting. No, he might be right, Gypsy Lily. I mean, it is. I'm not gonna lie. There is one or two of them out there. It's not like super obvious, but I know it's out there. I was not always the person I am today. I have done some things. Let's look at some. I'm gonna read some of these messages that were posted on Facebook because there are some interesting comments out there. Okay. I won't say the person's names, but here's one comment that's pretty interesting. Then they're just replying to the title of the show. One person says, well, all the sisters, let's see, it says, well, all the sisters were banging worldly people, so ask them. The brothers were blowing each other. Now, this is all of the EXJW group. One person says, I got plenty of dirt on people in my old congregation, but me personally, I waited till I was nearly 19 years old and out of the JW org before losing my virginity to a beautiful worldly girl, who I'm still best friends with to this day. Of course, once that seal was broken, I became a total man slut because I felt like I had to catch up. I don't know. I definitely felt like there was a lot of sexual tension in me that needed out, and I wasn't afraid or ashamed to explore it. Plus, the girls in this place made it so easy. All right. Well, he got him some. What are all these eyes in the chat? What are all these eyeballs in the chat? Seventh Heaven said, I got blackmailed with a sex tape. I'm still scared. Uh-oh. Seventh Heaven might have a sex tape out there, too. Tatiana says, okay, I think we need to make massive amounts of sex tapes and tag them with things like JW or... That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Let me see. I'm going to read some other of these comments. So one person commented, if you're not married, you don't have a sex life. If you are married, you're not exactly limited into what you can do with your spouse. But I highly doubt the terms. Of sex is much more than doggy and missionary in most bedrooms. Exclusive says, looking for that tape of you. Ah, that's funny. All right, let's look at some other comments. Let's look at some other comments. Hold on. I think that's all of them. I think that's it. All right. So this show must be too racy. People are too afraid to call in and talk about their experiences in or out of the organization. Y'all are too afraid. Are y'all scared? Y'all are scared. Y'all too scared. Patricia Mint says, women and porn is the same. It's a filler. Okay. Today Forever says, okay, weird. I used to fantasize about sex with celebrities while I was in the Kingdom Hall. Very intense stories in my head. Was still a virgin, though. Real Forum magazine-ish. That's funny. While you were in the meetings? It's easy to fantasize about anything when you're in the damn Kingdom Hall. That junk is boring as hell. That junk is boring as hell. Patricia Mint says JWs equal guilty sex. I was never guilty. I never felt guilty. I just felt good. I was not guilty. Because in my mind, my opinion always was, God's word stops when it, reaches my bed. Whatever I want to do in my bed is my business. I'm not worried about that. I am not worried about that. I was not worried about that. But I always wished, this is so bad. But I always wished that I could find a porn. Because I saw one very similar. And I was thinking, damn, if it was just about Jehovah's Witnesses, that would be so good. There was this porn I watched. And if it would only had been like Jehovah's Witnesses, it would have been super funny. But having a porn where Jehovah's Witnesses come to a door and they start talking about the watchtower and the awake, and I always make that joke about, let's see if you can awake my watchtower, and then it turned into a porno. I've always wanted to see one since I saw one where it was Mormons. These two dudes came to the door and they were Mormons, and they ended up turning into a flick. You were on the K Fits My Life show. What is your name and where you're calling from?
Tatiana, how are you, Keith?
I am amazing. How are you? What is on your mind?
It seemed a little slow, so I was like, am I the only one? Please tell me I'm not the only one. I used to love doing stupid shit to work up my husband before the meetings.
Really?
Like I would intentionally like go all week and then just work him the fuck up before meetings to try and get out of going to the meetings.
So you would try to get him like horny before the meeting time, so y'all wouldn't have to go.
Mhm. Oh, I would do some really crazy shit just to avoid going to the meetings. I would just intentionally work him up really bad just so we wouldn't have to go. And if we did have to go, we would leave early.
Really?
Am I the only one? I can't be the only one. You have to take a poll now.
Okay, let's do it.
You can't tell me that's not genius. I
That
know.
is super genius. That is great. Did you guys hear that in the chat? That is a great. If any of you are still in the organization and you want a way to keep from going to the meetings, I think Tatiana just revealed the answer.
Yeah, it worked pretty good.
Did it work?
Yeah, it did. Yep.
Like every time?
Just about every time. Just about, yeah. I mean, if they were having like a really, it depends on the atmosphere of the Kingdom Hall. If it was pretty, run of the mill, or if there was something really intense, like a marketing talk or something like that, then maybe we'd stay for the gossip or whatever. But, if it was just a regular run, then yeah, we'd usually just leave kind of early if we went. Because he knows if I'm working him up before the meeting, it's not like I'm going to stop. I'm not. I would still do shit in the Kingdom Hall too, so.
What? For real?
Yeah, that doesn't mean I'm not going to touch him or, and I had kids, so there's blankets and,
Nice.
laptops and
Nice.
tablets and books and
Nice.
lots of things.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Okay, so we got two amazing stories. We need somebody to try to top these two stories. We got the first caller who went all the way, and now we have Tatiana who's talking about all the lewd things she would do in and before the Kingdom Hall. So somebody's got to top that. Who out here has had sex at the Kingdom Hall?
Oh, God, no, I didn't go that far. No. It was just, let's get out of here. Now, who wants to have sex in the Kingdom Hall? Let's just get out.
Right.
Go, get out. Get out of here. Let's go.
That
I
is.
mean, it would surprise me if somebody did, but no.
But you,
No.
not you. You weren't that bold yet. Gotcha.
No. But who wants to be in there?
Nobody.
I mean, even Jehovah's Witnesses don't want to be in there.
No. Not really. I didn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to need somebody to top Tatiana's call.
I don't think marital sex was popping that much that I was really trying to do it in the Kingdom Hall.
Right. Huh.
But, all right, have a good night, Keith.
All right. I'll see you in the chat, T.
All right.
All
bye.
right. Yes. So we have one person that is working her husband up just so they don't have to go to the Kingdom Hall. That is a great idea. You know what? We can either head to the hall or you can get some head. Which one do you want? We can either head to the hall or you can head to this head. Someone said, Seventh Heaven says, did you see the video of the JW guy who really did have sex with the householder? That is awesome. That is awesome. Exclusive Princess, what are you raising your hand for? What are you raising your hand for, Exclusive Princess? Gypsy Lily's Hip to the Dip says, you are brutally honest when it comes to masturbation. I'm brutally honest when it comes to anything. Gypsy Lily says, let me read you a scripture, girl. Bow, chicka, wow, wow. Today Forever says, how many women in here consider yourself very sexual beings? Women are so conditioned not to connect with their sexual being. I agree. I agree. Miss Bailey too said, I heard someone had sex in the Kingdom Hall in Delaware. Really? Really? Wow. Miss Bailey says someone had sex at the Kingdom Hall. I think it was a young person. It was in a neighboring congregation. Well, I happened to visit, and an elder gave a scolding talk about fornication, uncleanness. Dang, that's pretty bold. I was just being silly, but someone actually did it. That's pretty awesome. One person commented on my post on Facebook. They said, when I got old enough to want to have sex, I did. Same with drinking, smoking pot, dating, all the things. That's why I ended up disfellowshipped after my mom went to the elders. Wow. One thing that happened at my Kingdom Hall, there was a young man that I knew personally that ended up getting privately reproved because this young man decided he was going to show some other people in the congregation how to jack off in the bathroom of the Kingdom Hall. And this happened several years ago. But I saw that happen personally. I mean, I saw that situation happen personally. I didn't see the thing happen personally, but I know the guy and I know the people that he did that in front of, and they were kids. He was a teenager and they were kids too. And I heard about it, and I was saying, I couldn't believe that this person did that, but I know it's true because the person that told me was somebody that looked up to me, a younger person that looked up to me. So they told me what happened, and it became a real scandal. Seventh Heaven says, at Hip to the Dip, the question you asked, K Fitz, do you mean an orgasm with a woman? There has never been any other kind, and there will never be any other kind with K Fitz. Or maybe he just means by myself. No, I started I think all men start masturbating at a really young age, but I was really young, like so young nothing would even, I was so young that it was before my body even started producing semen. My body was like, dude, what are you doing? Go play somewhere. You ain't ready for this shit. Miss Bailey says, I think the young person got sent away down south. Another sister told me this brother came onto another brother, kissed him, ran out of the Kingdom Hall. Dang. Miss Bailey 2 says, oh my, a group of young JWs in New Jersey got in trouble for watching each other have oral sex. That was in the early 2000s. Wow. Crazy. Craziness. Junie B says, I had a friend that got on reproof for having a co-ed sleepover with two other couples. Allegedly, just second base went down. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Motherfuckers was swapping, gang banging, DPing, getting somebody airtight and everything. That's all right. We ain't worried about that. We know what went down. We know what went down. We know what went down. All right, guys. So we have about 20 minutes left. If there's anybody else that wants to call in and share their experiences as an Jehovah's Witness or experiences as an ex-Jehovah's Witness, now is the time. Junie B says, my ex and I did extensive research on oral sex. We both wanted to do it, but wanted to make sure it really was a conscious matter. Ugh, so crazy in hindsight. Yeah. Nelson Seal says, lots of sex off jwmatch.com. Nelson Seals, are you saying that you've had lots of sex from women that were on jwmatch.com? Now, this is supposedly a current Jehovah's Witness site, right? But I would wager a lot of current Jehovah's Witnesses are so sexually repressed that they are probably really, ripe to be seduced by somebody if they just say the right things. But then you have to worry about how they may be so guilty afterwards that they might, be all depressed for the rest of their life. You don't want that shit on your conscience. Miss Bailey says, I don't know the details. A few years, some JWs got in trouble for either swinging or just having orgies. Nobody wanted to talk about what happened. Yeah, I remember that too. There was a bunch of swinging going on in the Kingdom Hall back then. A bunch. I wouldn't be surprised. There's a swingers club here in Nashville. I've picked people up from there a couple of times, and it's always packed. It's a place called Menages, and I'll drive down there a couple of times. On 2 different occasions, I picked somebody up from there. I've always wondered who you would see if you were to go in that place. But yeah, there's a lot. There are 2 or 3 swingers clubs here in Nashville. I guarantee you, if you were to go into one of them, you would see somebody that you wouldn't think you would see in there. And of course, what you gonna do? You gonna tell them y'all both in the swingers club. So I'm sure Jehovah's Witnesses will probably go in there because they know they're gonna have secrecy, because they're not gonna tell it on nobody else. So they could probably go in there and do all kind of crazy shit. But I've seen a lot of people go in and out of those swingers club. I haven't seen any JWs yet, but I'm from an older generation, so I wouldn't even know half of these new Jehovah's Witnesses now anyway. Hip to the Dip says, I have a few flicks on my Vitster. I ain't no angel. Okay, well, see, he's of course, we don't know what you look like, so yeah, he's just putting it out there too. I ain't mad at you. See, I'm taking more of a chance than you because y'all at least know what I look like. We don't know what Hip to the Dip looks like, so he's just saying some shit. But if you saw it, you probably wouldn't even recognize that it was me. But I know it's out there. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of us have some secrets out there. How many people in the chat have made a sex tape? Hit one if you've made a sex tape. Type 1 if you made a sex tape. You don't have to have released it onto the internet. Just if you have one in your possession, hit 1. Now I've made a bunch, but Exclusive Princess says, "Did you talk in the video?" Oh yeah, I was saying a bunch of stuff, but my diction wasn't as it is now in the video. You don't have great diction while you're while you banging somebody. You don't have the same diction. Yes, take this. Take all of this. Take all of this from the back. Yes, take all of it. It's not, you don't speak the same way. Junie B, how do you have a 0.5? Seventh Heaven said, it is not in my possession. That's why I'm scared. Oh. Gotcha. Okay, we got a few ones in here. Foxy Loxy and Tatiana, y'all cracking up at me. What's up? Great Diction is a porn lane somewhere, I'm sure. Exclusive Princess says, yeah, but we heard your sexy voice. Yeah, but it's not, it don't sound the same. It don't sound the same. Yeah, Junior B. What does point five mean? It means, I think it means that she did it. She just doesn't have it in her possession. She made the flick, but she doesn't have the flick. Yeah, my ex has a few of our flicks. Oh, she may have it. She may have thrown it away. I deleted everything from her that was me and her. So I don't have it anymore. I don't have any pictures or anything from her anymore. I deleted literally anything that was me and her or just her or anything in my house. I don't have any of it anymore. I deleted all of that shit. So I don't have anything now. But before last week, I had a ton of them. A ton of flicks and pictures and 10 years worth of stuff. I mean, just gigs and gigs of data. I think it was literally about 15 gigs of data that was just me and my girlfriend and her. Because I used to love taking pictures of her, but that was it. I don't have any of that stuff now. Tatiana says, good for you, Keith. That was a strong move. Yeah, man. I literally last week cleared everything, anything that I would look at clothes. I'm like, wait a minute, she gave me this shirt, threw that junk in the trash. All that stuff is gone. Fresh starts, man. Patricia Mintz says, the nose is for breathing, the feet are for walking. You get the point. Okay. Good night, Gypsy. Good night, Gypsy. No, I was doing too much to have my sexy voice going at that moment. It was a little too much action going on. Little too much action going on. Miss Belly 2 says, why did you break up? Oh, man. Seventh Heaven says, how did you destroy them, the tapes? They were on my hard drive. So I just had to delete them. All I had to do was delete them. So I deleted them all. Deleted them all. Miss Belly 2, that is a very long story. A very long story. Very long story. Because it was time. I'll just say it like that. It was time. It was time. It was time. Tom Lankus used to say, the sexual urge is like having a full bladder. When you gotta go, you gotta go. That is true, but when you ain't got nobody to go with, I would much rather go by myself. See, that's my thing. I know we've all had situations in the past where we've had sex with somebody and we're like, why the fuck did I have sex with that person? And see, I'm not trying to do that no more. I am not trying to be that dude that's going around having sex with people crazy. At 43 years old, at a certain point, to me, it just starts getting sad. You're like, dude, for real, you're still doing that shit. You're still out here fucking random people all the time, dude. That's sad. You need to get your life together, you sad son of a bitch. And I'm just not trying to be that dude anymore. I don't want to be that dude. So I would much rather just I would much rather just do it myself and then not have to worry about feeling like a jerk in the morning or something like that, or looking at the person thinking, why did I do that? I know I shouldn't have done that. I don't want to deal with all of that. So I just rather just wait until I find, till I find the right person. I'm not trying to be that dude. 43 years old, still talking about, yeah, man, I fucked this dude. I fucked this dude. Who's 43 years old still saying that? Girls like, I still fuck this dude, and dudes saying, yeah, I fucked this girl. I mean, who's doing that at 43, 44? Ain't nobody doing that. Ain't nobody doing that, man. So I'm just gonna try to find me my queen, find me a beautiful black woman, have her on my side, be my queen, and that's gonna be that. Today Forever says the walk of shame is a sad thing. And I know we've all experienced the walk of damn shame. Look back at that girl. I mean, there's been so many girls I've seen. I'm like, man, what the fuck was I thinking? But see, now it's different. Now I have a list. I have a list of things I want in a person now. You know what I mean? Like, she's gonna have to have some qualifications at this point. And I will say this about my breakup, though. Miss Bailey asked a good question, and I'm not gonna go into it. But what I will say is that Tatiana helped me through my breakup a lot, because it was a very, very difficult breakup for me. We had been together for 10 years. And throughout those 10 years, I didn't have, any family. And she was my family, and her family was my family. And so when we broke up right around the time where I had lost my family. And then we broke up, and then I lost her family. And so I had this great deal of loss. And so funny that we're talking about this, because I literally thanked Tatiana earlier today about how she helped me so much with my breakup. So it was a very difficult time, very hard time. And I really haven't I really haven't gotten back out there sexually yet since my breakup. But it's it might have to happen sooner than later. But I don't want to just go out there, and even when I was talking to my dudes about it, all my boys like, dude, you got all these women that want to have sex with you right now. What are you waiting for? And the reason I haven't is because I know what I want as far as the type of woman I want, the type of relationship that I want. And I know what I've been asking for from the universe toward that end. And I don't want my behavior to counteract or to act against the things I've been asking for. If I'm asking for this type of relationship, this type of committed, loving, passionate, caring relationship with this particular type of person, but I'm out banging every woman that I can just because I can, those two things can't exist in the same space. So I've just kind of been throwing the things that I want out into the universe and letting it just happen. Patricia Min says, yeah, with breakups, you don't just lose the intimacy. You lose a friend. You lose friends and family. Yeah, I've lost a lot of friends. They were, her family was my family. And so when that happened, you lose all of those connections, So, yeah. But it was a really hard time. It was a very difficult time, and Tatiana really gave me some really great words, and so did Tina Marie. Tina Marie was there for me a lot too. Tina Marie helped me a lot. We had a couple of really good conversations, and they gave me some really good advice. So, yeah. But I'm waiting on the sex thing. I'm going to wait a little bit because before before I got with her, when I first got divorced and moved into my apartment, I was fucking so many women. It was literally like a game sometimes. Like one time I was like, how many women can I have sex with in the same day? And it was 4. And I literally timed it out. One was early in the morning, one was afternoon, one was the evening, and one was later that night. It was so bad. My neighbors, this dude came out. He's like, dude, how you keep getting all these women? Every time I turn around, you got a different woman coming in and out of your house. And I said, you saw that? And he's like, yeah, man, everybody be wondering how you get all these women coming in and out of your house, man. What you got going on over there? And I was like, dude, you really need to slow down because you are doing way too much. You are doing way too much. And that's when I ended up, one of the women that I was having sex with became my girlfriend, later. But coming out of the organization and coming out of, being with the same person from, 16 to like 32 and not really having the ability to go out and explore a lot of things. And not the same because I did cheat while I was married. But not having the ability to really go out and feel free to experience a lot of different things. It made it where it was like, I always equate it to one of those snakes in the can. When you open the can, the snakes just go everywhere. And no, it really, Miss Bailey too. I don't know. It really wasn't like I saw your comment. It's cool. It's cool, Miss Bailey too. It's not a big deal. It wasn't sex addiction per se. I just, in the type of work that I did, with me being a choreographer and teaching in all these different studios, there were just a lot of women that were in my face all the time. There were just a lot of women that were always in my face, and being, in good shape, being a dancer, everybody seeing you dancing all the time. It really wasn't even difficult. I mean, my girlfriend came from the dance studio that I taught in. She literally, we got together because she was attracted to me from being a dancer in the dance studio. So it wasn't difficult. It wasn't anything I had to really try to do, honestly. It just, most of the time, the women came on to me, and I would just be like, okay, I don't got nothing else to do today. Well, fuck that shit. I ain't got nothing else to do. I might as well fuck. Nothing else to do. Shit. But after a while, like when I got with my girlfriend, it was later for that. Like I never stepped out on my girlfriend. I never cheated on her because she was pretty much doing everything I've ever wanted to do anyway. She was super sexual, so I didn't really have to. I didn't really feel the need to step out on her. Patricia Min said, took advantage of the opportunities. Yeah, I did. I took advantage of those opportunities. David Lee Roth. But that was a huge part of that was my upbringing in the organization. Now, I'm not going to say that. I will say this one thing I will say about being in the organization and sex that I've always thought that growing up in the organization kept me from getting somebody pregnant or getting some STD, because I was literally so afraid to have sex with somebody. I had so many opportunities to, but I was afraid to because of the organization. And I later found out that the girls that I would have had sex with in those times, I would have gotten an STD from, or I would have been, or she ended up pregnant by somebody else. And I'm like, that could have been you. So I will say that being in the organization, I do feel like it helped me, or it kept me from doing some of the things that some of the other teenagers that I knew were doing that were not the best things for them to do. I will say that, but I will also say on the converse of that it did cause a lot of sexual repression, because my wife that I married, we were both kind of sexually repressed. So we really didn't explore a lot of things because of the repression that we both experienced being in the organization. So, yeah, that's that. All right. So, is there anybody else that wants to call in that has any more comments? Because we have been on for about 2 hours. This has been a fun show. We had a couple of fun calls. But if there is no one else, we will prepare to wrap this show up. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about tomorrow. I have to look at my board and see. I think I want to talk about something I think we talked about one time a long time ago, but it was before we were doing the call-ins and everything too. I think 12, 16, 18. I think we may want to talk about our women second class in the organization / religion. I think that's going to be the topic for tomorrow. Our women second class in the org / religion. And we will allow these ladies call in and share their experiences of how they feel like either they are or aren't second class citizens in the organization or religion in general. I think that's the last one I have on my board that I haven't addressed yet. Damn. Thank you, Seventh Heaven. You are totally right, and I will be teaching tomorrow. Thank you, Seventh Heaven. You are the bit. You are the business, Seventh Heaven. Thursday. But let me check. Hold on. Let me see what time they want me to teach tomorrow, because she texted me and asked me what time they wanted me to be at the studio tomorrow. Let me see. Yeah, they want me to teach from 6:45 to 8:30 tomorrow and next Wednesday. So we will do that show on Thursday. And I'm going to actually start doing recording videos again for the channel, because there are some things I want to talk about that I don't want to talk, for 2 hours. It just maybe want to be 13 to 14 minutes maybe. Well, I'm going to rehash some stories I've told before that may just be for some people that were not on the live stream that didn't catch it. So I want to do some live videos as well. Thursday's topic will be our women second class in the organization. I'm sure we will do a EXJW Sunday show. Next Monday, guys. Next Monday will be the first episode of the series called The Majority Report. I have 4 of my good friends who are going to come in and we're going to talk. I think Seventh Heaven suggested this topic, but this is going to be the first episode of The Majority Report. activism, which way is most beneficial. That's going to be the first subject of the majority report. This is going to be an all-black panel of highly educated, highly successful people, and we're going to talk about activism and which ways we feel are the most beneficial. This will be a live call-in show as well, and I welcome everyone of every race to watch this show and participate in that show. There are going to be some different rules for that show, so please tune in. But it will be a fun and informative show. So I hope you guys tune in Monday for the first episode of the Majority Report. Also, I will be posting some things on the community tab about the meetup in August and getting some opinions on what you guys think. And hopefully this thing will pop off and be as fun, as successful as I am hoping it will be. So please look out for Thursday's show and Sunday's show and Monday's new show. All right. Michelle M says, go buy a chocolate chip cookie. That's so funny because I I had one from Wendy's earlier today. 2 of them from Wendy's earlier today. That's my little cheat meal. I had my veggie burrito, and then I said I went to Chipotle and had an all veggie burrito, and then I said, man, I want a chocolate chip cookie. I went over to Wendy's and got a chocolate chip cookie. So yeah, thank you, Seventh Heaven. The Majority Report is going to be a cool series. The Majority Report, and I want to get to a point, guys, where every day is going to be a series, so that we will have a kind of like a calendar of what types of shows are going to be on a certain day. So of course Sundays will always be XJW Sundays. Sundays will always be XJW Sundays, and I'm thinking there will be at least 2 days of the week that will always be dedicated to XJW topics. And I think since I went to the meetings on I think, what was it, Thursday? Thursday nights were my meeting nights. So it'll probably be XJW Thursdays, XJW Sundays. And then every other show will still be something that anyone can watch and can help anyone that's left the organization. But I want to have a lot more topics. You know what I mean? I want to open it up to a lot more topics. So yeah, I need to check my board and see what's going on. But Thursdays and Sundays will always be especially dedicated to the XJW community. And the other shows will still be shows that benefit us as having left the organization, will still be things that we can talk about, topics that we can talk about now that we've left the organization, and educate us further after being outside of the organization. Miss Belly 2 says Sundays are group therapy. That is right. All right. So guys, this has been a fun show. I will see you all on Thursday for our next call-in show, our Women's Second Class in the Organization / Religion. So there will be a call-in show. Everyone can call and discuss what they think about how women are treated in the organization / religion in general. I have a lot of views on that, and I think we will all have a lot of things that we can talk about on that topic. So guys, thank you so much as usual for being part of the show. And yeah, I will see you all on Thursday. Have a good night, guys. Peace.